Oh, good morning. Welcome to our solo walk. Uh, just want to share my thoughts with you. That's what this whole channel's about, and that. So, it's just uh, how I feel about stuff too, and what my perception of things are. But today, I just don't know whether I'm pissed off or disappointed or amazed, just kind of perplexed with the way you see things going. Uh, you can see it all over the world, especially all the different Western countries. The way things are going, it's anti-human, I guess you can say. But here in Canada, and that is the last while, the system, I don't know whether I'm more towards pissed off towards the system or towards society in general. It's just such a twisted up mess that we're in. We go back to 2020, 2021 with the COVID era, and how people were so quick to turn on each other because that's what the authorities told them, and how quick the authorities were to turn people on each other, and how they were so quick to distort truth, facts, to make people believe in them, in the system. And the people that worked in those systems, you see that when the trucker convoy was on the ground and people gathering to show their distaste for the government overreach, and how the people that worked for these government systems and organizations, police, whatever, how they were so quick to, well, you take the police for instance, how quick they were to just ride horses and trample people over, because that's what they were told to do. I'm just doing what I was told to do. And how that whole thing was man-made. And when you come, now you're coming up to now in the last few weeks here in Canada, even we with that convoy, we have the two so-called leaders of the convoy, Chris Barber and Tamara Leach, been in court for years over it, and then they try to give them 7 and 8 years prison sentence. Unfortunately, they didn't get that, but for mischief. Yet we have our Supreme Court here a couple weeks ago, or even this within the last week, I don't know, but it's recently, saying that a mandatory 1-year sentence for some pervert with child pornography on the friggin' internet and on their computers and all the other shit, and that a mandatory 1-year sentence was too much, and it wasn't wasn't was against their rights as a, you know, how sick our judicial system is. We got, kind of think what kind of triggered it too, and that was this ostrich farm fiasco that's going on with this Canadian Food Inspection Agency or whatever the hell they are, and that, and how they, had 3 birds with a year ago, damn near a year ago, 300 days ago, with the avian flu, so they say. And who the fuck knows whether they really had it or not, because these tests they do on them are bullshit anyway. We found that out through the COVID thing too, if people actually pay attention. But the system, that CFIA had given them an extension back in January, or an exception, that they were okay, and then a few days later they pulled that on them and said no, the whole flock has to be done away with because of well, actually I guess they didn't give them a reason, but within that little short period of time the government had bought 500,000 vaccinations for avian flu. Isn't that just a coincidence? Just surprising how that happens. And then they been bickering back and forth. In the last month or so, they moved into this farm and took over these people's herd of ostriches and had RCMP there and the CFIA there and the Supreme Court there give them a stay so that they weren't going to be called, and then they were under appeal, I guess. And then yesterday the Supreme Court, just instead of hearing what these people's issues are or anything about it, they just dismissed it, threw it out, called the herd. And the only reason, like, these animals have been there for 300 days with no illnesses whatsoever. And even the CFIA was in there with no PPE on for days until they realized it was bad PR to be in there like that. So then they started wearing it. But that's beside the point. It's just how sick our system is. And that, they're culling these birds for, I would imagine, in my viewpoint anyway, that this bird flu, avian flu, whatever it is was a product of some sick lab shit that's going on. That's the same thing as where COVID come from. And that, but they're just following like they have no concept of empathy or what's actually going on. They just following the diktats of a global organization, an unelected global organization, the WHO, because they say that anything that gets bird flu, the whole flock must be destroyed. And you get thinking about how sick our system is, and we got this friggin' MAID system here in Canada too. And I totally disagree with it, but I can understand where back when it first started they were saying that for people that were terminally ill and in pain, that they were going to medically assist in dying. I can see the thinking there, but now they just keep pushing it, and now they're even talking on they're even talking on being assisting mentally handicapped poor people that are out on the streets, or even talking about youth, giving them MAID. Like, this is how they progress. They get something into the system and people accept it. And it just progresses and progresses, and we become desensitized to it and complacent in it as a society. And I think that's what really got me more I don't know, just like I said, I don't know whether I'm pissed off or disappointed or amazed at how we've been so brainwashed or led down the garden path by this parasitic evil force, whatever the fuck it is. People got so many ideas of what it is, and they fight back and forth about what it is, and all that is just to distract us from the shit that they are doing. And like I said, it's the whole system, like I said, here in Canada, it's so like there's no connection from this system to the people. You even see the government here right now. They just they're trying to pass a new budget, and there's nothing in it to help the average person, really, if you really look into it. And all it is indebting our future generations, our kids and our grandkids, and there's to just enslave us more. And we sit back and go, there's over a large percentage of Canadians that are going, he's generational investments. Bullshit. They're just enslaving our future generations if we continue down this dystopian path that they're trying to push us through. It's just, like I said, it's amazing how we have become so compliant and so complicit in this system, to this system. When you can look at any piece of it, like I've just said about the different pieces of it, and see how basically evil it is, and how it's anti-human. And people just, doesn't affect me. Well, with these ostriches and how they're going to cull them, and they've just sloughed that under the rug and said, just go ahead and do it. And And you see how they progressed the MAID program. Well, this culling of birds started with chickens. Now it's went to these ostriches. Next thing you know, it's going to be culling of pigs, culling of cattle. And with this MAID thing, it's the culling of people too, in my view. You can look at it however you want. But if you can't see the evil that's in front of your face, there's nothing that can be done for you. You're just complicit, compliant, brainwashed, and just lost as far as I can see. You know, what can we do about it? You know, the only thing we can do about it is, to me anyway, is to start to become non-compliant. Quit bowing to these systems. Like I said, we have to function in the system, but quit allowing that system to run you and to dictate your thoughts. Yeah, non-violent, of course, because the violence is what they're looking for. They're going to come in, and I can see them coming in like they did with the trucker convoy, with all their emergency measures and walking all over people to make you compliant. You're going to do it our way. Well, I'm sorry. For me and my house, especially, as they come in with all these dystopian things, their digital IDs and their digital currencies and their all the other stuff, going to come up with more emergency crisis situations to scare you, to throw you into fear, to get you to comply with their systems. And there's going to be more and more of that coming because they've stepped up their game. They do have that 2030 goal in mind, so just keep that in mind, that all of their eggs are in that 2030 basket, so they're going to throw everything at us that they can to try to get us complicit with that. So yeah, you know, maybe it's time to just say no. Time to, like I've said before, meet that one amazing person that you are, that spirit. Sit back. Take some quiet time. Quit listening to the fucking noise out there that these dystopian bastards are trying to put on us. Open your eyes. Step out of the program. As we've all been programmed. Maybe just start to see the program that's running and see how we've been led astray and how we've decided to follow their diktats to destroy humanity, take away your sovereignty, take away your individuality, your creativity, your spirit. Take the time. Sit back. If you can get outside, get outside. If you can just find a quiet spot, sit down. Listen to Spirit. Connect with the Creator. Because we're coming to a point where we're going to need to be strong. We're going to need to be, like I said before, healthy and serious. Mind, body, and spirit. Yeah. We are the answer. It's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be some tough times ahead, but I know that as these dark forces push in on us, that the light will shine through. And be me, are the light. So let's be that. Be the co-creators of the new humanity, the new world, however you want to put it. They want a reset, we'll give them one. Let's do it. Anyway, I hope that makes some sense. Just like I said, I don't know whether I'm pissed off, disappointed, or amazed. It's just, things are getting so stupid on all levels. It's time to stand. Time to be who you are. Pure love. Don't do anything out of anger, hate, but out of love. That doesn't mean sitting back and getting walked over. Sometimes there's tough love, but do it out of love. Anyway, we'll leave it there. And just give your loved ones a hug. Tell them they're loved. Together, we're going to do this. Take a look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself that you got this. That you are mighty warrior spirit. Pure love. And you got this. Know that you're loved. That I appreciate each one of you. And that together we will create a new world as we remember who we are, as we remember the power that is within us, as we remember that we are part of the Creator. Have a great day. Be blessed. Know you're loved. We'll talk at you again. Bye-bye.